Bitcoin just skyrocketed to new yearly highs. In fact, this is the highest level that we have seen Bitcoin since May of 2022, and I don't think the run's stopping anytime soon. So what I want to do in today's video is not only talk about what's happening on the Bitcoin chart, but I also want to explain everything that's happening in the altcoin market as well, because I think that this is one of those scenarios where both Bitcoin and altcoins are going to be able to mutually benefit from the run that we're seeing and the continued run that I think we'll see into the New Year's. So if that sounds interesting and you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is Brendan and welcome to the Crypto Analyst channel. I make videos just like this one every single week on both this channel, the Crypto Analyst channel, and also on the Crypto 101 podcast channel. So if you like the content that we make, all that we ask is that you consider hitting that like and subscribe button. But without further ado, let's go ahead and break down everything that's happening here. So Bitcoin's on a tear, altcoins are on a tear. What is happening and why is Bitcoin breaking out to these new yearly highs? Well, as we can see, we kind of theorized for a while now that with this squeeze happening on Bitcoin, it was really putting the pressure into the top of this chart. Now, a lot of you are saying, Brendan, this looks like a flat out rising wedge. And for all my technical gurus out there, this was the heat of the argument. There was this heated argument between the bulls and the bears about whether this was an ascending triangle or whether this was a rising wedge. And so in the past couple of videos that we've made, we've said, hey, this is a ascending triangle. The bears have said, hey, no, this is a rising wedge. Other people have tried to say that this is a parallel channel. And the short of it, without overcomplicating things, the one thing that was clear is that there was hidden bullish divergence on Bitcoin's chart. And the way that this played out is that if we see just at the lows of Bitcoin, it is making consistently higher lows all the way up here, which means that every time it pulls back, it is at a higher place than it had previously been. And so one of the things that we had been bringing up pretty, consistently here, especially in one of our last videos, is this idea of hidden bullish divergence. Now, why and how is this hidden bullish divergence? Because as Bitcoin is seeing consistently higher lows on its candle chart, it was seeing lower lows and falling action on things like the daily RSI and also on the daily MACD as well. We can see this thing going from about an 800 about a 680 on the MACD all the way down to around a negative 300 on the MACD. And then on the RSI, we can see it falling from its high of around 87 all the way down to around 52, 53. So as the RSI and the MACD were falling, prices were holding higher lows and actually climbing. And so what this is classified as is hidden bullish divergence, kind of further aligning with the sense that pressure is actually building towards the upside here, and it's not a bearish thing for Bitcoin, despite people trying to say that there is a rising wedge or a rising channel or something like that forming over here. So with Bitcoin hitting this new yearly high, it went all the way up to 39,000. And I think any higher than this, and we're going to start really seeing Bitcoin explode into the 40,000s. And I think we're on the precipice of that. Now, the other big thing to kind of keep an eye on here is Bitcoin dominance, because this is another thing that we have talked about a lot. And with this, I want to quickly kind of recap everything that we've mentioned so far, with the big one just being this historic pullback. And I don't think my face is blocking any of this, but basically one of the big talking points that we brought up is that Bitcoin dominance routinely goes up and then it pulls back to the 50-day moving average. And this is typically a move of around 4 to 6% to the downside. And exactly, or this time around, it was no different because we pulled back exactly to this 50-day moving average on the Bitcoin dominance chart. We saw a 4.3% pullback. And then what do you know? This is exactly where we bottomed out once again. And now Bitcoin dominance is rallying back towards the upside. So I think a big reason that this is happening is, number one, this is the exact same pattern that we've seen for the last 14 to 15 months. Nothing has really changed. We're not seeing a lot of curveballs, and a lot of people are just overcomplicating what's really happening on the charts here. Again, I'll zoom out so everyone can kind of see this. This is very normal in comparison to what we've seen over the last just over a year now. The second thing here is a lot of people are getting ready for this Bitcoin ETF. And the kind of consensus here is that not just one Bitcoin ETF will be approved. It's looking like there will be multiple approved in order to have this, I don't know what the word would be, but basically to make everything fair. Because what would likely happen is if only BlackRock gets approved, then all of a sudden they have a monopoly on the Bitcoin ETF space. They have this unfair advantage over all the other ETFs. So what seems to be happening, and again, we won't know until it actually happens, but the common theory is that multiple Bitcoin ETFs will be approved in order to kind of create or not create a monopoly and have everyone equally distributed and have an equal chance at gaining market share. Now, the second part of this is that a lot of people think that these Bitcoin ETFs are going to be approved by early January, which is now just around a month away. So it's possible they get approved in December. The common theory is that these Bitcoin ETFs are actually going to be approved towards the first week or two of January, that first half of January. So people are preparing for this, and thus the price of Bitcoin is moving really, really strong. Bitcoin is remaining dominant, at least for the last week or two. And this is how kind of the cycle goes. We have Bitcoin, or not Bitcoin, we have Ethereum and the altcoin market cap, which is the total two, approaching this multi-year level of resistance. And you can believe that when this thing breaks out, it is going to be a really exciting time for the altcoin market. When Ethereum is able to break out of its multi-year resistance here, and when the altcoin chart or the total two is able to break out of its multi-year resistance right around here, right around the $700 billion market cap zone, which it has struggled with several times now, it is going to start to get really exciting. But if we look again at this Bitcoin dominance chart, Bitcoin will likely rise, or Bitcoin dominance will likely rise. And then as it begins to fall once again, we're going to start seeing this uptick in things like Ethereum and the total two. And that is what's going to kind of push them into their overbearing resistance. And again, the big thing that I'm watching out for, because I think that, as I said in the beginning of this video, both Bitcoin and altcoins are going to be able to benefit from this. And it's not to say that they both can't move up together. I mean, you look at the day, Bitcoin's up almost 3%, Ethereum's up 2%. We have a lot of altcoins that are up 2, 3, 1%, some more than that. But the big thing here is that, again, I think Bitcoin is going to move in terms of dominance. It's going to move first. Then as Bitcoin consolidate and winds down a little bit and maybe even falls in price, then we're going to really start to see altcoins go on the up and up again. So what I'm looking to do is I'm really not focused on selling the rips here. What I'm more focused on doing is actually buying the dips. And again, I can't give you legal, financial, or tax advice or anything like that, but I can tell you what I'm doing. And so what I'm seeing is that on these pullbacks of both Bitcoin and altcoins that I'm interested in, I'm looking at buying the dips near support when these things do pull back. I'm not chasing the market too much, but I am looking for pullbacks and buying the dips because I think that's one of the best approaches that you can have in a market like this one. And then we do have certain altcoins, I mean, like IMX and where was it? Celestia, which are just popping off, up 11% on the day and rivaling its all-time highs. So this one has been a really cool trade, came right out of a breakout from its symmetrical triangle or pennant, and this thing's shooting up to the upside. And there's a plethora of other altcoins as well that are up just double digits on the day. So there's a lot of trading out there. I hope everyone has been able to capitalize on all the opportunities. And a quick reminder that if you want to get more involved, you can always join Crypt Nation. We have a couple links in the description down below for all of you to check out. We got a lot of material. So if you are interested in crypto, whether you are a veteran or just getting started, then definitely check out some of those links in the description down below. Check out Crypt Nation. We got a lot of cool stuff happening over there. And it's a crypto community that we run of over 10,000 different people in there. So if you want to get more plugged in, that's the place to do it. And that's going to wrap us up for this video. So once again, everyone, thank you all for watching. Happy trading out there, happy investing, and we'll see all of you in next week's video.